Good morning, students. We have completed chapter 3rd, and today onwards we are going to start chapter 9, Big Constitution as a Living Document. I am starting this chapter because this chapter is related with our first chapter, and you can say the continuation part of chapter 1. In this chapter, you will see how the constitution has worked in the last 55 approximate 75 years and how India has managed to be governed by the same constitution. Means when our constitution completed, after that, even then today our constitution is relevant. How we will study in this chapter. Before I start to study Indian Constitution, first of all, I will give the example of another country's constitution, like Constitution of Soviet Union and Constitution of France. It is not uncommon for a nation to rewrite their constitution in response to change circumstances or change of ideas within the society or even due to political upheavals. The Soviet Union had four constitutions in its life of 74 years. First 1918, second 1924, third 1936 and fourth 1977. In 1991, the rule of the Communist Party of Soviet Union came to an end and soon the Soviet Federation disintegrated. After this political upheaval, the newly formed Russian Federation adopted a new constitution in 1993. In other words, we can say one constitution that could be changed within 4 years or 6 years is relevant for that country. No, means the makers didn't were farsighted. France has had five constitutions since 1792. In 1946, there came into force the fourth constitution called the Constitution of the Fourth French Republic. And in 1958, the French had the Constitution of the Fifth French Republic. Means France, that is considered as an advanced country. In spite of that, their constitution were not static. There may be a question as to whether or not the constitution are static. The answer would be no. A constitution is a dynamic or a living document. It should grow with a growing nation and should suit the changes needs of a growing country. If we will talk about the Indian constitution, that is much more relevant than other countries' constitution. If we study about the Indian Constitution, the Constitution of India was adopted on 26 November 1949. Its implementation formally started from 26 Jan 1950. As you know, more than many years that the same Constitution continues to function as the framework within which the government of our country operates. It is that our constitution is so good that it needs no change. Was it that our constitution makers were so farsighted and wise that they had foreseen all the changes that would take place in the future? In some sense, both the answer are correct. Yes, of course, we Indians herited a very robust constitution. The basic framework of the constitution is very much suited to our country. It is also true that the constitution makers were very far-sighted and provided for many solutions for future situations. But no constitution can provide for all eventualities. No documents can be such that it needs no change. So our constitution also needs to change. So we can study how to amend the constitution, how we can change in our constitution, because the changes makes our constitution as a living document. Our Indian Constitution has three methods by which it can be amended. But firstly, we should discuss. Uh, we have already seen that the makers of our constitution wanted to strike a balance. The constitution must be amended if so required, but it must be protected from unnecessary and frequent changes. Uh, in other words, we can say the constitution to be flexible and at the same time rigid. Our Indian constitution has both the quality, flexible as well as rigid. Flexible means open to changes and rigid means resistance to change, means बहुत जल्दी से चेंज हो जाए और बहुत मुश्किल से चेंज हो. हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ये दोनों ही क्वालिटीज हैं. A constitution that can be very easily changed or modified is often called flexible. In the case of constitutions which are very difficult to amend, they are described as rigid. The Indian constitution combines both these characteristics. Now we will study these. First method is for change to Indian constitution, that is as mentioned in articles. Simple majority. Simple majority means present members, more than 50% of members are in the favor of any bill, that is a simple majority. Second method is special majority. In this we follow special majority means both the houses members present and fixed criteria vote are in the favor, that is special majority. Third is special majority as I discussed, and next is legislature of half the state is in the favor of this bill, that is considered the bill for passing, and it is mentioned in the article 368. This is more difficult because 50% states, now we have 28 states, means 14 or more than 14 states are in the favor of this, that bill could be preferred for passing. Following type of bills are passed by this method, like admission or establishment of new state, creation or abolition of upper chambers in states. As you know, states also have the authority to create two houses. So this is passed by this. Administration of scheduled and tribal areas in states are also considered for passing according to this majority. Second method is special majority. Special majority as per Article 368 requires a majority of two-third members present and voting. Means if they are present and don't want, that is not considered for this. Means present members must be present and also must be vote supported by more than 50% of the total strength of house. This type of majority is used for most of the constitutional amendment bills like fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy. Third one, special majority plus ratification by states. In this special majority we have discussed, and ratification by state means more than 50% states give their concern for that bill, like removal of the Supreme Court and High Court judges if they are following impeachment process, representation of states in parliament, in the Rajya Sabha, executive powers of the union and states. All these cases bills are considered in this method. I hope all three amendments are clear to you. With the help of these amendments, we can say our constitution is a living document. We can increase the articles of our constitution as well as we can decrease the articles of our constitution. As you know, the living thing has increased or decreased. So our constitution is a living document. Thank you and have a nice day.